Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing every single book I read in 2022. So the first book I read in 2022 was It Ends With Us. It was very popular on TikTok and it got me out of my reading slump. That's why I really like this book. So the plot, I rated a 5 out of 5. The plot is really good in this book. The characters, it's a 4 out of 5. I like the characters, it wasn't like a 5 out of 5 character thing. The plot twist of this book is a 5 out of 5. The pace was a 4 out of 5. It was a bit slow in the beginning, but it got better throughout the book. Overall, I rate this book a 4.5 out of 5. And would I reread this? Yes, I would. The author's note was really touching. Like in the end of the book, after I finished this, I cried reading that. It was so heartwarming and sad. You have to be mature to be able to read this book, and make sure to search up the trigger warnings before you read this book. Now, the second book I read in 2022, I read this book in February, The Girl on the Train. My friend Alice annotated the book for me, and it was really funny reading her annotations. There was this one that was talking about kids, and it was the funniest thing ever, not in a weird way. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by rating it. The plot was a 4 out of 5. It had a really good plot. The characters were a 4 out of 5. The main character girl just really messed with me. I didn't like her, but then I liked her, but then I didn't like her again. The pace was a 3 out of 5. It's a really slow book, so I would say it was really hard for me to get into it. The first half of it was really repetitive and boring, but as you make your way through it, it starts to get really interesting. The plot twist, however, was a 4.5 out of 5. I did not expect that. It was really shocking, guys. The genre of this book is mystery, thriller, psychological thriller. You have to really focus when reading this book, so if you don't have a good attention span, I would not recommend this book for you. Now, this book I read in February as well, and it was Ugly Love. Colleen Hoover was my favorite author, I would say, for the first half of the year, but then she became too problematic, and I was just like... So you might see a lot of Colleen Hoover now, but don't worry about it. Anyways, I would say the plot was I would say 3.5 out of 5. The plot was good. Like, if you asked me when I first read this, I would have told you, my god, 5 out of 5, amazing plot. But I read other books, and so now when I compare it, I would say the plot was a 3.5. It had a good plot twist. The plot twist was a 4 out of 5. I did not expect it. The book goes back and forth between perspectives of the male and the female, and when it goes to a male's perspective, it's always a flashback of his life. The book kind of builds up towards why he has trust issues and what happened in his past to cause him to be like this, and that was an interesting thing about the book. The characters were 4 out of 5, and I would say the pace of this book was like a 3.5, 4. You have to search up the trigger warnings for all of these books because there's just so much happening in every single one of these books. Overall, I would give this book a 3.5 out of 5. Okay, I'm really excited about this one. I don't even think I need my notes for this because of how good this book was. So, my favorite book that I read this year, which was also the 4th book, Hopeless. I told you there's a lot of Colleen Hoover, but when I tell you this was the best book I read in 2022, it's definitely in my top 3 favorite books ever. This is so good. The whole book, Hopeless, is just amazing, guys. And I remember like finishing it, and it was 5 a.m. and I was just like, what am I meant to do with my life now? It was one of those books that when you finish it, you just, what do you do now? There's nothing that can top it off. That's how it feels. The plot of this book, 4.5 out of 5. Really good plot. I don't want to explain it because I feel like if I explain the plot, I would accidentally spoil it. The characters are a 5 out of 5. I love the characters, especially the guy. And Sky's cute. The plot twist of this book is a 5 out of 5. Guys, when I tell you that every other page there's a whole new plot twist. Like the first half is like it's good. There's not really any plot twist. Like it's building up towards it. From half of the book all the way to the last 20 pages, there are plot twists. Even the last 20 pages, they throw another plot twist to you. Guys, I'm telling you, this book is so good, especially if you love plot twists and romance. The pace was a 4 out of 5. I think the first half was a bit slow. The rest of it got better. Overall, this book, I would rate it a 4.5/5 out of 5. So good, highly recommend. Search the trigger warnings again because this one has a lot of them, so make sure you search it. And one thing I really like about this book is the fact that it has a second book. This book is the guy's perspective. Same timeline, the exact same timeline. I just dropped the book. Both of these books are the exact same timeline, but This book is from the girl's perspective. This book is from the guy's perspective. I still have not read Losing Hope, but I want to read it. You can start in any order. I still recommend reading Hopeless first. Fifth book I read, Colleen Hoover again, Layla. Layla was a really good book. It was definitely different than the books I like to read, because I like to read romance books, and it was horror, it was like psychological thriller, so it did take me a while to get into. The plot was really good, 4 out of 5. The characters were 4 out of 5. I really liked the characters. The plot twist was really good. I would say 4 out of 5. I accidentally spoiled the plot twist to myself. I was searching a question online and the plot twist came up, but it was so good, it was shocking, and it's unexpected. I really liked the plot twist. The pace, I would say, is a 3 out of 5. It was a bit slow, but it started to get like more interesting, but it's not a quick read in my opinion. It is a slow read. Unless you like these kinds of book, then maybe it'll be faster for you. So yeah, if you do like paranormal activity, a bit of horror, but not really horror, like thriller, I would recommend this book for you. Also, this did not feel like a Colleen Hoover book in my opinion. As you've seen, I've read a couple of her books. This completely did not feel like her. I don't know, her writing style was a bit different in this book. I need my phone for this. I don't have the book physical, I had to read it online. I read these books in July, and they're 3 books. It's a Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. I watched the show before I read the books, which I don't usually do, and it's because my friend Lean, love you so much Lean. If you watch my other videos, the Dead Sea vlog and the Ajloon vlog, you would see Lean, and I love this girl so much. But she's the one who recommended this series to me. A couple of people actually told me about it, but she's the one who forced me to sit down and watch the show. And then I read the book. The books are more towards like younger teens. I wouldn't say towards adults. I didn't really like the writing style. It felt very childish in a way. The overall plot is good. Yeah, I would say a 4 out of 5. But for the first book, the plot is just a 3.5. It's not really that much. The characters are all 5 out of 5. Mwah! Love the characters. Watch the show. I would recommend the show rather than the books, to be honest. This is one of the only times you'll ever hear me say this, but I do recommend the show more than the books. I don't know if I would reread it. Maybe I would actually. I did enjoy the process of reading it. It's a very quick read, all 3 books. All 3 books took me 3 days in total. So I read the first book on day 1, second book day 2, third book day 3. The plot twists were okay, 3 out of 5, but then it got better. I like the second and third book more. They just have more action. So push through the first book, get to the second book if you're planning to read it, and third book. I would say it's just an age 12 plus. Ow! Ow! Oh my god, I cut my finger. Number 9. Spanish Love Deception. Read this in August. This was a very controversial book for me to read. I've been attacked for reading this. I've been attacked by my friends Donna and Zainab, and they were telling me that this was a really bad book. But I read this, and I don't think it was really bad. Actually, when I first read this, I thought it was amazing. They recommended to me another book, which I'll tell you about in a bit. That one was better than this, so I think my ratings went a bit lower, but it's still a good book. First off, just to start, this is a very basic enemies to lovers fake dating trope. Very basic. So if you like that, this is a book for you. The plot was I would say like, it was a 4 out of 5. The characters, 4 out of 5. The plot twist, I don't think there was much of a plot twist. I would say it's a 3.5, 4, because you know what's coming. You know that, it's enemies to lovers, man. You know what's coming. Overall, I would rate this book a 3.5/4. Would I reread this? Maybe. It was quite a slow read for me. The first half of the book, slow, but I started to get into it again, and there was this one scene in the book which made me scream on the floor, man. I was dying. It was so good. I think the best part of this book is like probably the middle towards like the half of the end, but then kind of the end gets a bit slow again. It's just like, man. Anyways, on to the next book. I hope my hair is not a mess. I literally got back from school only like an hour and a half ago, but red, white. My mom was calling me to ask me if I wanted to go to cinema tomorrow. Read this book in, I think it was August. Here's the problem. I never actually finished this book. I don't know if I want to finish this book. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I reached the point where I was satisfied with the book and I just decided I don't want to end it. And I just searched about what happened in the end. I was so satisfied with the book, I was just like, no, done. It was almost towards the end, like the plot twist hit, I knew what happened, everything. I just searched like the ending quickly. But actually, I really liked the plot. 4.5 out of 5. Good plot, very fun. The pace of the book was good. I would say a 4 out of 5, just because it got a bit slow at some parts, but other than that, it was good. Characters, 5 out of 5. Guys, the characters are so freaking funny. I'm telling you, they're so funny. These two, amazing. Basically, quick summary of the book. This guy is the son of the king. I think it was the king and queen. This guy is the son of like the president or something. Anyways, and it's an enemies to lovers trope. I would definitely reread this and maybe actually finish the ending. Next book is It Starts With Us. I had to read this online. It is the sequel of It Ends With Us. I wanted to say, as a standalone book, it's not that good. It's better to read it as a sequel. As a sequel, it's a good book, you know? The plot was a 3.5. I think what's nice is the introduction of that new character, and if you read the book, you would know, but I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to spoil it to anybody else. I think that one added some spice to the book and it was nice. The characters were 4 out of 5. Plot twist was a 3 out of 5. I mean, other than that, like, character thing, there wasn't really a plot twist. Overall, I would rate this book a 3.5 out of 5. I don't know, it was a good book, but it wasn't like a fulfilling book, if that makes sense. It was also a fast read, so I think that was a good thing about it. Now, the 12th book I read this year, The Love Hypothesis. I think this was also one of the best books I read this year. It was really, really good, and I'll explain why. This was the book I was talking about that if I were to pick between The Spanish Love Deception and The Love Hypothesis, I'd pick this. This is also, I wouldn't say enemies to lovers, but it was like a bit of enemies to lovers. This is also the fake dating trope. It was so good. Oh my god, and there's STEM in this, guys. Like, this is a STEM woman and STEM man. Like, oh my god, I just realized the cover is not really that. Plot, 4.5 out of 5. Really good plot. Characters, 4.5. Oh my god, they are the funniest characters. I love the guy, I love Olive, I love all of them. The plot twist, 4 out of 5. I would say it has like a good plot twist, a basic plot twist, but there's more to it. You'll see when you read the book. The pace was a 4 out of 5. It was a good pace. It was a quick read, but not a quick read at the same time. It was like average. Overall, I'd rate this book a 4.5 out of 5. I highly recommend it, especially if you love the fake dating trope. This is for you, and like, I just can't, I'm telling you, it's so good. Here are the notes I wrote on this. Really good book. Woman in STEM, very cute. Fake dating, enemies to lovers trope, grumpy sunshine trope, good plot, and nice to read. Yeah. Number 13, 5 Kinds of Silence. I read this in November. I had to read it for drama class in school because I had a monologue out of this small book. It's a very, very quick book. It's a really, really disturbing book, man. The plot was a 4 out of 5. It's a confusing book, by the way. And I would say only read it if you like fancy literature and stuff. Characters were 3.5 out of 5. Plot twist, 4 out of 5. Pace, a 3 out of 5. And overall, a 3 out of 5. Would I reread this? No, I just read it purely for school, man. Please search the trigger warnings. There are so many things that happen in this book. Number 14, Twisted Love. Oh my god, I started the Twisted series. I only read 2 books from it so far, but I started it and it's really, really good. The first book, when I first read it, I was like, this is amazing. But then I read the second book and I was like, okay, wait a minute. Second book was even better. So, first time I read it, it was a 4 out of 5, but now I would say the plot would be a 3.5 out of 5. Characters were 4 out of 5. The main character guy really bothered me, I would say. Like, he annoyed me in the end, and you'll see why. The pace was a 4 out of 5. It was a good pace. Plot twist was a 4 out of 5. I like this plot twist. It was nice. I like this book. Would I reread it? I would reread it, yes. This book series is really cool because there are 4 books in this series. Twisted Love, Twisted Hate, Twisted Games, Twisted something else. There are 4 best friends, and each book dives into one of the best friends' love life and life in general, and they're all like kind of connected. So it's really, really good. Book 15, I read this in December, the second book of the Twisted series, Twisted Games. Really good plot. I actually liked it a lot. I was surprised because I thought the first book was really good, so this was even better. The plot was a 4.5 out of 5. This is bodyguard princess trope. Plot twist was 4 out of 5. There was a nice plot twist to it, and you'll see when you read the book. Characters 4 out of 5. Pace 4 out of 5. It was a good pace, guys. I would say it's a really nice steady pace. Never too fast, never too slow. Overall, I would say it's a 4 out of 5. And I would definitely reread this book. Last but not least, book 16. The Shatter Me series. My sister came back from university and she bought me the first 3 books of the Shatter Me series. You can see the first one here. Then we have Unravel Me and Ignite Me. But it's been in my TBR for a while now, and I'm really glad that I got the opportunity to read it. So the plot of this book is a 4 out of 5. It was a nice start to the series. Like, you slowly get settled into how the book is going to turn out. The pace of the book, though, I would say is a 3.5 out of 5. It was really slow in the beginning, and then it got really, really fast. Like, there was a small break in the middle where you got to take a breath, and then all of a sudden so much happened. Bombs, guns, violence, running, so much stuff, so much. I ended it. I'm starting the second book now. The characters are 4 out of 5. Plot twist is 4 out of 5 as well. It was a good plot twist, and if I thought this plot twist was good, just can't wait till the other books. The genres of this book is like romance, dystopian fiction, science fiction, young adult. What I like about this book is that there is hints of romance in it, but it's not just focusing fully on romance. There's a lot of plot. It's not just romance plot, it's plot romance, you know what I mean? Overall, I would say Shatter Me is a 4 out of 5. Good book, nice book to start off the series. Thank you all for watching my video, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye!